there. And here's another thing too. I don't think he's going to be the general manager or president, whatever you want to call him, after 2019. I really don't. I think he was brought in. They said, look, this is our window. This is the farm system we have to work with to either call them up or trade them for, proven talent, and that's it. And I just don't think that Red Sox ownership is gonna have him oversee the rebuild. I think they're just gonna go in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair with Dombrowski, and I wouldn't even hate on Dombrowski if that happened, considering that he was brought in for exactly that. He was brought in for win now, get this team a World Series, and get them to the playoffs, and he did. He did a great job with that, and he's still done a great job with that. And his track record is he says something, he does it. So I like that about Dombrowski. But, yeah, I could see that. As it goes with Cora, I mean, you just said it yourself about the Yankees and their lineup and Greg Bird and Gleyber Torres and all these guys. And their shortstop I can't pronounce, not Didi. He's been playing a couple of positions.
Torres?
No, it begins with an A.
Andahar.
Thank God, I can't say it. Andahar. So, but Aaron Boone has done literally nothing as a manager. He has been gifted the lineup that he had at the start of the season, and Andahar and Gleyber Torres has come up in the middle of the year. He has made no decisions. He is just a puppet out there. So he's not managing at anything. And there's been a few times this year where people have kind of questioned, like, he's pulled somebody out or he's kind of switched up the lineup for no reason. So there's been a few times where he's been like, people are like, what are you doing, Aaron Boone? He's not doing anything. And me and you, with our eyes closed, can manage that team right now because it's on automatic. They're playing in Yankee Stadium, and they're hitting bombs, and their pitching staff is pitching out of their ass. Boone's doing nothing. He's gifted these guys at the young talent level just walking into town. He doesn't have to do a thing. And when it comes to how good their lineup is right now, they showed in the playoffs last year that it can quickly turn for the worse. Their ace last year, Severino, served up 3 runs in the first inning to the Twins in the wild card game. Could have been more, but the Twins lineup isn't as deep as it wasn't as deep as it should have been last year. They should have lost that game. They should have been sitting at home. They were 1 game away from playing in the World Series. Yankee Stadium can hurt them just as much as it helps them. And a lineup like the Red Sox, that 1 through 5 is one of pound for pound some of the best in the league. You get streaky guys like Holt and JBJ in there too. You could easily see, if the Red Sox don't win they don't win the East, they win their wild card game, they play the Yankees in the ALDS. You could easily see them take 2 in a row out of Yankee Stadium and just light up the scoreboard. So it doesn't impress me long haul about Aaron Boone at all. And their lineup right now is amazing. And top to bottom, it's better than ours. But you put a 1-game playoff in Yankee Stadium or a short series in Yankee Stadium, and, a couple of those rookies, Bird, Labor, Stanton goes on one of these cold streaks that he likes to go on, and all of a sudden they're getting absolutely bounced at home, and the Red Sox are rolling. So I don't play into that as much when it comes to the playoffs. It's a whole different game. As for Alex Cora and what you want out of him, he manages the bullpen, which is, I think, every Red Sox fan's thing about Farrell. He's gotten the starters to do what they're doing this year, which is be probably the second best staff in baseball behind Houston. And he has 50 wins on June 21st. What more could you want from a manager at this point? He's playing 50 wins with guys named Jackie Bradley Jr. batting 180, Nunez batting 240 at best, Holt's been great, no Pedroia, Vasquez batting, 202? And up until June 7th, Sandy Leon, who was doing nothing. He has gotten 50 wins with this lineup, no help at the bottom, controversies, injuries. He DFA'd Handy Ramirez, something John Farrell would have never done. He's moved the lineup when he had to with injuries to his best player, Mookie Betts. He's managed probably just as good as anybody up until this point. And now this week is the next couple of weeks are his big time. But he did everything right, except for the Robbie Scott thing. He did that bad. But in the Seattle series, he did everything right. In this series, minus that game, he did everything right. It's up to his players to produce, and it's up to his general manager to get him talent. Aaron Boone has been given talent, and his team has turned it around. Nobody was on Aaron Boone's ass when Mike Stanton was going over 21, striking out 10 times in two games, and Judge was slumping. It wasn't Aaron Boone's fault. It was their fault. Cora needs that same thing. It's not his fault that his players aren't producing at the bottom of the lineup. And you don't want to put, Mookie maybe at the 4-hole, sure. Other than that, what are you going to do? Put JBJ at 1? Going to put Devers at 2? You got nothing there. You need players to produce, and you need actual players there to be serviceable. He doesn't have that, and he's still put up 50 wins so far. I think he's been doing amazing, and no one else in the open market would do what he's doing right now.
Well, to a degree, I mean, our starting rotation has basically been on autopilot, and that streak, I mean, if it's not for that streak, if we're 500, when we went 17-2, if we're 10-9 instead, we're looking at a much different picture here. So, and it's the way things are trending that has me concerned.
And they did that a month ago as well, and then they came right back up. And we were in the middle of the podcast with that, and we joke around saying, yeah, Bogarts is now going to go on a huge streak and go off and get back up to 280, 290. And that's exactly what he did. And then we won, 6 out of 7 or whatever it was. It's just, he is, the team itself, he's gotten to this point with autopilot. And, just like you said about Francona and how well he managed, if you take away their 15-game winning streak during 2016, they were a 500 team, don't make the playoffs. So it can kind of go both ways. You can't say Francona managed and outmanaged everybody and was a step ahead, but then say, we had a 17-2 start, and without that, we're nothing that year as well.
Well, what I'm getting at, though, is we can't base the second half on the first half. I get last year with Francona, but that's behind us, and we know how it played out. We don't know how this is going to play out. We're definitely not going to go 17-2 at any point in the second half. So,
no, but if we went 500 from that point, we would have 92 wins. I think we're going to play over 500 ball from the 17-2 point and finish with close to 100 wins, which is, I expect that. I think you do as well.
Yeah, I do. Probably 98-102, I think is very reasonable. But the Yankees could still win 105, 107, and then we're still in the one-game wild card. So,
and that's bad luck, though. If I told you at the start of the season Alex Cora was going to get the Red Sox to 103 wins, what would you have said?
I'd have been happy with it, but
if we win 103 and the Yankees win 127, that's not on us. That's on we did above and beyond expectations, and we just got screwed by a team that was just flat out being better. So I take that into consideration if the team overperforms and does everything we need to do, and we win 100 games, 102, 99, that's what we need to do. We did what we needed to do. It doesn't matter what the Yankees do at that point, because we can't stop that. We can stop when we play them, of course. If we get swept by them every time and they win 105 and we win 103, well, we did it to ourselves. It's our fault we're in this position. But if we go 500 against the Yankees, or 9-7, or 7-9, something close, and they win 105 and we win 99 or 100, they just flat out had a better season. But the Red Sox still had an amazing season, and will probably finish second or third in the league. It just so happens we're looking up at the best team right above us, and it just so happens that they are in our division.
Yeah, not winning the division, though, is going to be a disappointment. For all the moves that we've made.
It's going to suck when we win 99 to 100 games and we're going to be in the wild card. It's going to suck.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, and we might not win that many though either. We might win 90. It's just
we don't, because the lineup has been inconsistent. But the good thing, the silver lining side of it, is that you saw what happened today when we had 16 hits and 9 runs. If we just spread that out over 3 games, we sweep. It's not like we're Baltimore or the White Sox or we're the Twins even, who are underperforming and you see flash every once in a while. We've had these skids this year when, we do this and we're inconsistent, but then we turn it around. That's why I'm excited for these next couple of weeks. And we have good opponents. Seattle's a great opponent. They could be in the playoffs this year. The Angels had the best player in baseball in Mike Trout. they could be in the playoffs this year. Probably not, but you know what I mean.
And we have Washington and then New York as well. So, I mean, we're on a critical stretch here. And like I said, if we're 8 games behind the Yankees coming up, in a few weeks, because they thump us like they did Seattle, who we just said is a good team, then that's, that's going to make for a miserable second half.
Oh yeah, if July 5th rolls around, which is, I said July 1st because that was that Sunday night Yankees game, we would know where we stand. We catch 3 games and even some things out. But July 5th would be the 3 games after the Nationals, and it's an off day. July 5th is a very big day for the Red Sox and for the panic button and for Dombrowski and everybody else, because you just played probably your toughest stretch of the whole season, and you have bad teams coming up. So if you can get out of that under 4 games away from the Yankees, I think it's a win. Because after that July 5th start, July 4th against the Nationals, we have Kansas City, Texas, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, the Orioles, the Twins, and then the Phillies at the end of the month. We should win every single series up until the Phillies, and it's a split, and then it's just a 2-game set, quick 2-game set. So if we can be in striking distance of the Yankees after July 5th, the month of July, we should win almost every series. And then we come into August where we play the Yankees again. So it could set up for a huge 4-game set against the Yankees. We could be down 3 or 4 going into that series. I feel pretty good. Obviously, I'd rather be even or up. But being down 3, playing 4 at the start of August, you can kind of set the tone for the rest of the summer and into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I don't know. I mean, this next 2 weeks is going to tell us a lot anyway.
Oh, it's going to tell us. It's going to tell us what type of team what type of general manager Dombrowski's going to be, and it's going to tell us what type of team this Red Sox team wants to be. Because if we're getting blown out or we're losing 4-1 with 2 hits, and Sale's pitching great or Sale's pitching great, and we're just not having it, then it just shows that this team just doesn't want it. And if Dombrowski is as good as everyone says he is, he will work a Starlin Castro or something of a trade at second base. I think second base is where we need it the most, because if you get a second baseman, you can sit Bradley on the bench every game until defensive replacements and pinch running if you want, have Holton left, Benintendi in center, and like you said, downgrade a little bit on defense, but not dramatically.
Yeah, I don't think it really hurts us at all. I mean, I love Bradley's arm over anybody else that would play center, but I think Benintendi can track the balls almost as well. One last thing before we get into some Mariners baseball. The Yankees may or may not get DeGrom. There's been a lot of talks there. Maybe they get Syndergaard instead, but one of the two. At that point, let's just say it's DeGrom because that's just the name we're hearing the most. Severino, DeGrom versus Sale and Price.
They win that matchup. Sure.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't think there's a huge difference. Yeah, I think that's really close.
Yeah. Like obviously, they take it because I think, Price isn't as good as DeGrom. But yeah, in a playoff series, that could go either way.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're going to narrow the gap big time if that move gets made, and our back end of the rotation is probably better. If you're factoring in Erod and Wright, but if the Yankees want to go with a 3-man, if they just want to go Severino, DeGrom, Sabathia, that's not a team I want to be dealing with in October. So
definitely October. It's going to be interesting. They're either going to get Hamels, DeGrom, or Machado. I'm with you on Machado. I think if they don't get a pitcher, they'll get him.
Or Happ even. That's another guy I just want no part of.
Donaldson's another guy. If they want to throw out J.A. Happ in Game 2 or Game 3 of a series, I'll take my chances of 36-year-old J. Happ. I'll take my chances with that, and we crush. We've been crushing the lineup when he's been, the Blue Jays this year. So I would take my chances with Happ for sure, especially over DeGrom or Hamels.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's got pretty good numbers against the Sox though in the last couple of years, but.
Oh yeah, the past couple of years he's been good, but he's older, not as good anymore, and this lineup is much different than 3 years ago and even last year.
Yeah. Well, all right. Joining us again from sotomojo.com, which covers